Time to find my bike. There's so many. I'm pretty sure it wants to rain. Ah, I see it. Hello, and welcome. My name is Sophia. You can find me on both Ravelry and Instagram as Ichigo Knitter. There is a Ravelry group for this podcast under Ichigo Abroad Podcast, and please feel free to come over and say hello. So, it's been a while. I need to apologize. Last week was the first week of the semester, and the way Kansai Gaidai's program works is that during orientation week, when all of the new students arrive, they have to take a Japanese language placement exam, and that placement exam will determine which class they are in. However, that's not the end of the language examination. At the end of the first week of school, the Japanese professors give us a review test to take to prove that that's actually the course we belong in. And that exam applies for the extension students as well. I don't think that it would actually affect extension students if for some reason we failed, because we've already proven to Kansai Gaidai that we belong in the next level, because we were here and actually took their course. But we're required to take it anyways, and I think it was based off of fairness for the new students. So we still had to study because, you don't really want to fail a test and risk seeing what Kansai Gaidai does. So this past week was pretty chaotic. It was a lot of fun, there's no denying that, but it was a bit filled with study and figuring everything out. But that's over with now, so I should be going back to a regular schedule for recording, hopefully, unless something else happens again. But yeah, I would have recorded last week, but oops, review test. That was interesting. I think I passed though, because, I think if you fail, your professor sends you an email telling you how dumb you are. And, he wouldn't actually do that, but they would send you an email being like, hey, you failed, but don't think I did. So, that's over with. As for school itself, it's incredible. I think I really lucked out this semester. Having been here already for one semester, I already knew who the professors were, what kind of courses interested me. So I signed up for and managed to get into classes that I think for me are going to be incredible this semester. I'm taking Japanese because, that's my major and you're required to. So I'm taking Japanese, which is great. Love Japanese. I am taking Japanese architecture, which is an incredible course. It's It was 15 students the first day. I think the second day there were a couple more students, but that's still pretty small because the regular class size here is 30. And the course itself is just like so different from anything I've taken before, and it's really incredible. We did an overview on the first day, and it seems to be really a focus on the history and explanation of why and how Japanese architecture has evolved the way it has throughout history, and it's just so engaging. So I'm really thrilled about that. And then I am taking a cross-cultural psychology course, which so far has been incredible. Really just a great look at understanding that everybody thinks, but everybody thinks differently based on the culture they were raised in, and having an understanding of how that thought process is really opens up for just understanding different people, and like really opens up communication, and is just really great. So I'm really thrilled about this. The way the professor presenting the course is just, it's fantastic. And I'm also taking a course called Culture, Power, and Meaning, and it is all about minorities in Japan, which I am over the moon about. I'm taking this with my favorite professor. I had this professor last year, and he just makes class really fun. And this course seems really fantastic because actually one of his focuses of study is the experiences of Koreans in Japan, which is one of the major focuses of this course. So I'm really thrilled about that because that's not something I'd really have an opportunity to take back home, because that's not a course that we have. And I'm over the moon. So I'm really excited about these classes, and my schedule is awesome. So other than the fact that last week I had that exam to worry about, everything's good and fantastic. Good and fantastic is kind of like repeating myself, but whatever. So yeah, let's move right along. So I've got my coffee with me here. I wanted to say thank you for everyone who's joined the Ravelry group so far. We actually have exactly 150 members as of today. So I was thinking that when we reach 200 members, I might do a small giveaway of any pattern of your choice up to $6 US. So once we hit the 200 mark, I'll put that up in the group, and you should just all figure out some prompt when the time comes, just to say thank you, because really I appreciate this. I do this because, you know, I wanted something fun to do to connect with other people and share my love of Japan, and it's just been a great experience, and I've met so many fantastic people through doing this, and I just wanted to say thank you, everyone. It really means a lot to me. Okay, so let's get right into knitting. I want to put out right now that the knit-along has finished, and a winner has been drawn. I did it off-screen because I knew if I did it on-screen, I would mess everything up. So I will announce the winner at the end. Oh, coffee is so good, guys. Okay, finished objects. I have one. Okay, guys, this is the greatest, most fun thing to knit on the face of the planet, and it is so soft. Ready? Ta-da! Oh my goodness. I have finished the French can-can. The pattern is by Mademoiselle C on Ravelry. It is paid for and totally worth it. I loved this pattern. And I knit this out of Madeline Tosh DK in the Worn Denim colorway. And just the combination of the style of this pattern and the Madeline Tosh is just, oh, it's to die for. I love it. And the detail on the pattern, it just made me so happy. After really sitting down and knitting it, I finally memorized this pattern, which should have been easier, but I'm such a lazy bum sometimes. And once I memorized it, this just flew. And I really can't wait till this gets blocked, because when it blocks, this bad boy is just gonna grow. So let's see. Oh man, it is so thick and luxurious and warm, and this, I think this is a favorite project of mine now. Like, 2015 is off to a good start with this. Look at, yeah, I love it. It's so warm, and it's just gonna grow when it gets blocked out, but that won't be till June, which is fine because it's perfect right now too. I am so unbelievably happy with this. So if you're ever looking for a pattern for some Madtosh DK. This pattern's fantastic. Oh, it's so soft and squishy. Oh, I love it. Yes, I couldn't be happier with this. I was so thrilled. I actually got this off the needles the night before school started, so it was like, yeah. Oh man, it's so squishy. I love it. I'm so happy with it. Okay, so as I stop fondling that, I have a couple lips right now. I only have 2 because I'm trying to keep my knitting very low-key and very relaxed. I mean, it's always relaxed, but something in my head bothers me when I have a lot of things on the needles. That kind of, I think about it and that kind of bothers me. So I only have one big project and one small project. Small project for school, big project for here. So I'll show you my school project first. Oops. I am knitting just another plain pair of, so tangled. Hold up. Yep, there we go. A pair of plain vanilla socks. All I have is the toe so far, but I love the way it's coming out. This is a skein of, this is my first skein of Opal. It's the sweet and spicy 2. There we go. In the chili pepper way. So there is an example of what the yarn will come out looking like. So it's the opal kind of self-striping thing going on. It's really cool and really fun. I'm so excited. So it's, in a big, and I will admit, I'm so derpy sometimes. I could not for the life of me find the center of this ball, so I'm pulling from the outside. Oops. But other than that silliness, this is coming out great so far. Pretty sure I'm just addicted to knitting vanilla socks. It's weird, but I love it. And that's what I have so far. So that comes with me to school every day. I just stick it in my purse. And then, take another sip of coffee. Oh, God, it's so great. Oh. I have my big project. And this I am so excited about. I cast this on just a few days ago. And this is a project using the skein of Madeline Pashmina that I bought in Kyoto several months ago. And I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for the perfect project to come up because I knew I needed something just like perfect for this gorgeous skein. And I spent a lot of time on Ravelry poking through just the sport weight yarn pattern section. And I had come across this pattern that I decided to knit once. And then the other day I was looking through again and it showed back up. And that kind of settled it for me. And I'm so happy with it. I have not put this thing down every day. When I get back from school, I make either a cup of coffee or a cup of hot chocolate and I go into the lounge with my laptop. I put on some videos and I just knit and knit and knit for the rest of the evening. So, in here is Madeline Pashmina. It is 75% merino wool, 15% silk, 10% cashmere in the Cove colorway. And here is skein. And here is what I'm knitting. This is the Twisted Rib Neck Warmer by Michelle Johnston. And oh my goodness, this is incredible. The yarn is a literal dream to knit with. This is what it'll look like when it's blocked out. It is so incredible. The pattern is so easy. It is a 4-row repeat. It's super easy to memorize and you just go and it's just, oh my goodness, this is going to be the most incredible thing in the world to wear. And it's all scrunched up on the needles right now, so you can't really tell the true length of it, but oh, I can't stop touching it. It's so wonderful. And about this pattern, it used to be available for free on Ravelry. It is no longer available, but so many people have knit it and provided notes on it, so you can still get the pattern. And one Ravelry in particular, Black Bun, had provided a modification to the pattern that a lot of people seem to really enjoy. So I decided to go with that person's modifications for the pattern. And I am just so thrilled. I cannot say enough about how addictive. This is just literally flown. This has just been a couple days. It's probably been like 3 or 4 days, and it's just, oh, it is incredible, and it's just perfect for this yarn. It only takes one skein of pashmina, and it just creates the most incredible thing. I cannot wait to wear this to school because it's been chilly outside recently, and this will be amazing. I wish you guys could feel this through the camera because I love it. Oh man. And I'd say that's pretty true to color, actually. It's, you're missing, I think, a bit more of the blue. There's the silverish is more of a almost seafoam blue. It's gorgeous. It looks like a cove. I love it. So that has been taking up my attention 100% these past few days. I don't even want to put it away. I just want to knit on it. I'll knit on it later. So this, oh, so incredible. But that is all I have on the needles right now. But I couldn't be happier because I'm addicted. I don't know what I'm going to do when this is off the needles. I'm going to be so lost. I want more, but pashmina is so expensive. But I do have some planning going on for knitting. This month, Danny of the Little Bobbins podcast and Zena of the Little Yellow Uke Crafts podcast are doing a joint knit along. It is called the Little Along, and you can knit or crochet anything you want that is small or for a small person or knit on small needles, anything. And I am so excited about this. I have been throwing around several ideas in my head. I think what I'm probably going to end up knitting is a Minikins by Woolly Wormhead. And what it is, it's literally a tiny little, it's like a little elf hat. And it's an ornament, and it's so cute. So I think, and I believe it's a free pattern, so I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm so excited. I'll probably knit it after this bad boy comes off the needles because it's probably only got a couple more days on the needles before I finish it off because I have been flying through it. But it's a really cute knit along, and so if anybody's interested in knitting something small or, you know, on small needles for a small person, you should really look into it because it's the cutest idea, and I'm so excited. I have like a box of supplies down here. I've been knitting ornaments, so I think the hat's gonna have to happen. Put that away. So, acquisitions. I have acquisitions this week. So, back at the end of 2014, Desert Vista Dye Works, who is my absolute favorite self-striping dyer on the face of the planet, was doing a special where all of her Zombuddy colorways were available for a particular period of time. And it was probably at like 1 or 2 in the morning. I was on Instagram and she posted up a reminder that that was the last night to get your hands on some. And I was like, oh snap. I probably shouldn't be allowed on the internet at 2 in the morning, but it was totally worth it. There has been this particular skein of her Zombuddy collection that I have wanted forever. This particular skein of yarn, I have literally gone onto D-stashes, found it, been this close to getting it, and then deciding against it, just because I was like, I don't need it right now. But I have been drooling over it, and now it's mine, and I love it. So, the colorway is Solid Chocolate Zombuddy. So, it is a stripe of this very deep chocolatey purple, a stripe of, I can speak, brown, not purple, this brown, chocolate brown, I've never heard of a chocolate purple. This light brown, and in between are her signature zombie stripes. And this is her self-striping. This is on her Viso. Yeah, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and I cannot wait. I really think I'm addicted to her yarn, and I think it's okay because it's amazing. So this may actually be my next pair of socks after I finish up my opal ones, which will be a while because I'm only on the toe of number 1. But, oh my goodness, if you haven't checked out her website before, I would highly recommend it. She does tons and tons of yarn, but what really draws me to her work is the Zombie colors because they are so fun. And she comes up with new ones all the time. She does holiday-based ones like this for Easter. She does Halloween ones, she does Christmas ones, she does ones just... She is brilliant. She's fantastic, and I have an obsession. So I'm extremely happy with this purchase. The other thing I got in the mail, I reach over to here. The wonderful Melinda of the Yarn Woman podcast sent me some minis. So she was super wonderful and messaged me asking if I wanted some yarn for my sock yarn blanket. So she sent me 8 little things of yarn, and I love it. I cannot wait to add these to my blanket. Oh, you're so awesome. Thank you so much, Melinda. You're a hero. You're awesome. I cannot wait. Her podcast is amazing. If you haven't seen it before, please go check her out. She is glorious. Dropping yarn everywhere. Woo. Yeah, I'm a little over the moon. I've had these like just sitting on my desk here so that I can just admire their glory. So thank you, Melinda. You have given me glory. Take another sip. So, what's been going on lately? Besides all the school things, one of my friends here and I were talking about how much we both used to read books 24/7, and then we've recently fallen out of it, and for no real particular reason. I mean, I think for me what happened was, at end of high school, I read constantly at school. That was what I did when I had free time. Excuse me. If I was study hall, anytime my book would be out. If there was a free moment in class, I was reading my book. And I read and read and read. And I flew through series like it was nobody's business, and it was glorious. But then I started getting into knitting. And in college, I really found that whenever I had free time, I just wanted to knit. And so I kind of fell out of reading, not for a lack of want to read, but for a, feeling that I needed to spend my time knitting, because that's what that was my driving force of what I wanted to do, was I wanted to knit. And the both of us were talking about how we both just loved reading, and there's just, new books come out all the time, and especially recently I've been hearing a lot of podcasters speaking about their books, particularly the Bakery Bears and Bookish Stitcher. She's always reading fantastic books, and I want to get back into that. So we sat down and we were like, all right, let's do an informal book club. So it's just the two of us. We're like, you know what? Let's read a book together. And we both love Victorian era novels. And she had never read Jane Eyre. And Jane Eyre is my absolute favorite book on the face of the planet. I read it in early high school, and I was just blown away with the book. I loved it to bits and pieces. So we decided to read that. And so I have it on my phone. iTunes has it for free. And just reading through it again now, I think I love it even more. It's my favorite book, and it's been my favorite book ever since I read it years ago, but I think something about reading it now, I feel like I'm appreciating it even more. And I the character of Jane Eyre for me is just glorious, because she's just there's this one line that my friend pointed out to me, and then I got to it, and I was like, she's going through thinking about, how do people get jobs? I mean, do they like use their acquaintances and they ask their friends around, and then there's like a line, and then she goes, I have no friends. She's amazing. She's just like, oh, darn. This book, if you've never read Jane Eyre, do it. It's incredible. I told her we're gonna watch when we both finish the book. We're gonna sit down and watch the most recent rendition of the movie because I loved it. So that's our plan. I'm also at the beginning of Shogun right now, which actually, let me go get it. Sorry. Oh, what an adventure. Shogun, James Clavell. This is a classic, and since I was younger, my parents have always been harassing me about reading this book. They're always like, oh, you're gonna love it, you should read it. And when I was in early high school, when they were really trying to get me to read this book, I didn't really, I didn't know, I had an idea of Japanese history, but it wasn't, any clear. I hadn't ever really sat down and studied Japanese history properly. I didn't, most of what I learned was, an overview of world history, never anything specific. So I had no desire to read this book. Oh, how silly I was. I love Japanese history, and, honestly, I don't think I would have appreciated this book before, because I didn't have any background in Japanese history. I didn't, back then, I didn't know Japanese. I knew anime, and I watched anime, so I heard Japanese, but I had it with English subtitles. I had never studied or done anything in depth. I didn't realize at that point, I hadn't been to Japan yet. I hadn't realized at that point that this was the direction my life was going to take. So I think back then, I probably wouldn't have really cared. But I'm so excited about this book now, because just this, for me, is what I want to do. I'm actually planning on going to grad school for history, and I think I'd like to try and become a Japanese history professor. I love it so much. It really, for me, history has always been the epitome of what I've loved. My dad is a huge history fan. He reads historical novels all the time. Not even fiction. He'll read some history fiction, but he reads a lot of nonfiction. That is his passion, and he kind of raised me that way, and I fell in love with history. So for me, I'm so excited about, because I have kind of figured out where I stand in life and how Japanese history, what it means to me. So I don't think I would have appreciated this before the way I'm just so excited for this now. So if anybody hasn't read Shogun and is looking for a fantastic novel of historical Japan, this right here. So thank you, Dad, for making me a history nerd. So, before I end the podcast, it is time to announce the winner of the first knit-along I've ever hosted. So, it was a Treat Yourself knit-along. It ran through all of January, and there were 45 posts, so there were 44 entries because the first post was just me. And so in the random number generator, I entered in 2 through 45, and the winner was number 43, who is Lupin Owns Jacob, also known as Holly of the Swift Knits podcast. So congratulations, Holly. She knit a gorgeous pair of monkey socks. And if you guys haven't seen her podcast, please go check it out. She's awesome. So Holly, if you would like to send a PM to my mother, Saratoga Knitting, with your address, she will mail that the bag off to you. I sent it home with her, so she has it, and she will mail it to you, and I hope you enjoy it. Yee! I'm so excited. This knit-along was so fun. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Everyone made absolutely gorgeous projects. And I really appreciate the enthusiasm and the participation because I was kind of worried. I'd never done this before, and it was really fun. So thank you everyone for participating, and congratulations, Holly! So I believe that is it for today. Thank you again for watching. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. I promise I will get back to a normal schedule. I'll make sure my mom bugs me about it. And happy knitting. Bye!